Welcome to episode 9 of the Movie Lighthouse, shining a light through the fog of film. I'm James.
I'm Laurie.
And I'm Wyndham.
And how are we this bright, sunny Sunday morning?
Well, what am I trying to channel here? My ball's dropping. Coming of age. World.
Oh yes, our coming of age spectacular.
Yeah.
But in answer to your question, I'm well, thank you, mate.
Great.
Sun's out. Beautiful day.
It's not bad, is it?
It's been a very good summer so far.
Good stuff. I'm pleased to hear it.
And it's supposed to continue for a few more days.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a heat wave.
Yeah.
Been watching a football?
Nope.
I've been dipping in. And
Have you?
it's nice to see. Well, it's basically we've now got a team that we can kind of not necessarily believe in that will win, but a team to be proud of. I feel.
Do you?
Yeah. Don't
And
you?
which team is that?
England.
All right. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very multicultural.
It's interesting. Lots of the, pre-tournament established names are now out. Countries are out. Argentina, Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could
Portugal's
be.
gone home.
Know.
But yeah.
There you
I
go.
don't think we really care.
Can we add? Do you think we can add sport and football to our keywords now?
Possibly. Yeah.
Chat to
Reach a wider
player
audience.
All right. Well, we haven't got any mail this month, I'm afraid.
Have we not?
Nothing.
It is summer. People are.
It is, yeah, people are
Got to
busy.
cut them some slack.
Yeah. But so shall we kick straight on with the news?
Yeah, go on.
All right. I can't remember. Do we have a news jingle?
Yeah. No.
We don't.
No.
I might. Has anyone got an old typewriter? I might put an old typewriter sound in right now.
Nice.
There we go. All right. Well, I've got a bit of news. Rosemary's Baby's 50 years old.
Is it?
Ooh, crikey.
It's no longer a baby then, is it?
It's a middle-aged
Yeah.
man, I suppose. Devil man.
Devil man. Yeah.
Spoiler.
I wonder what he's doing.
I hope that comes up at some point.
Isn't he president of the United States?
Couldn't he? Something like that.
That's another film I haven't seen.
You're kidding.
No, I really don't. I haven't seen very many of these classics.
Jesus. So you're talking about Omen 3?
What?
Was that Omen 3? Oh, no.
Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
I've seen Omen 3.
Yeah. Was he the president of America? Number 3, was it?
No, he was
Yeah.
a senator.
No, but he was building towards
Yeah, he
being
was.
president. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which
The
was
Rosemary's
odd 'cause he
Baby.
was very-
Holy
Yeah.
shizzle. You need to see that.
Well, I'm hoping over the 10 years that we do this podcast, eventually it will come up.
It's a biggie.
Yeah.
It's a real
It'd be
biggie.
wrong if we didn't cover that one.
Yeah.
Anyone else got the news?
So, a couple of just trailers that have come out for films that I particularly want to see. I don't know necessarily whether they fit our remit completely, but who cares? Equalizer 2 is coming out.
Huh?
Did you see the first one with Denzel Washington?
No, was it good?
I love it. It's just one of those John Wick style action rampage where Denzel Washington is amazing and hard as nails.
Okay.
Sequel's coming out. Love it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you're going to have
excited
to tell
about
us about that one.
it. Yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be a school trip for us, but yeah, very excited about it. And Sicario 2, Soldado. Do you see Sicario?
No.
Again, this is supposed to be great as well.
It
It's
is a
completely not on my
great
radar.
film. Absolutely great film. And the sequel looks pretty bloody good. I think it's out already.
Yeah, I've seen
Certainly
the
in
trailer
US
a couple
it is,
of
but
times.
I think it's coming over here, so that should be maybe not a school trip, but I will keep you updated as to how that
Yeah,
goes. 'cause
Great.
okay.
it looks
Do you
like
like
a
action films, Windy Bum?
I do sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
Good.
He's our action aficionado.
Yeah.
So at the end of the podcast, we're going to do a little review on Solo.
Oh, great. Okay.
But it's going to be full of spoilers. So I thought, it's been out long enough now, so I thought we'd do it at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you haven't seen it, have you, Wyndham?
No.
That way we can talk about all the things that were,
Spoil the shit out of that.
absolutely.
Excellent.
All right, I went to see Jurassic World.
Oh,
bad
right.
luck.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh, no, I heard it was supposed to be all right. I mean, I know the first one that they did looked... I haven't seen it, to be fair, but it looked proper pants. But then I saw the trailer for this one when we were in Solo, and I thought, actually, this could be quite interesting.
Dinosaurs in a stately home.
Oh, yeah, that's quite interesting.
Stupid. And
Was it a National Trust? No?
well, without giving anything away, I've got two main problems with it really. One is right, you've got all the dinosaurs that ever existed, yeah, or whatever. They brought loads of them back,
And then
but they're
some.
not content with it, so they have to make super dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
As
just a
you
reflection
would.
on society.
well, it's a bad reflection, and society's bad.
Yeah, all right.
And also, what's his name?
Pratt.
Pratt.
No. The guy
Goldblum.
The guy who goes on about the plastic all the time, his brother, Richard Attenborough.
Yeah. Dickie.
Yeah, because he's dead.
He is dead.
They just get a replacement Richard Attenborough in it, which was a farmer from Babe. You know,
Oh,
really?
right. Yeah.
He's not
Farmer
playing.
Hoggett?
He's not playing the same character, but he might as well be. He's got a cane with an amber bit at the top,
Right.
and he's a sympathetic guy and all that.
They
kind
didn't
of stuff.
CGI him back in then.
No, they'd have been better off doing
See,
that.
now you say this. So in our last podcast, I was saying about what annoyed me with Rogue One, where
Yeah.
they did the whole Peter Cushing thing.
Yeah.
I thought more about that, actually.
And you love it
And they
now.
did make the right decision, because they're just looking from a biggest perspective, I think. And you've just got that continuity, albeit the eye doesn't believe it and it doesn't knock you out of the film a little bit. You've just got that continuity, and they're the two bits, Leia's face, Peter Cushing's face. As technology gets better and better and better, they can just jump into those bits and maybe just refine it more and more and more.
Well,
So
Leia looks like a
I was
puffer
wrong.
fish.
I was wrong, because I suggest she does. That's, I was wondering what it was. It's a little pup, yeah. I said that they should have just had the actor who looked quite a lot like Peter Cushing anyway, and you could quite quickly get over the idea. But I think actually no, I think they made the right decision. You've just got that little bit of graffiti in there that they can just refine as time goes on.
But is it ethical? No, but if you're an
If
actor,
they ask-
if you're he's got no decision in whether he wants to be in this film or not. They
Yeah.
just put him in it.
Yeah,
You know, it's. I
it
don't know
might
if that's
politically jar against everything he stood for, and then there his mug there. But I'm sure they must go round his wife's house, sit down with her, make her a cup of tea or whatever, and talk about it, right?
right. But that's still not his choice. That's her choice.
You're right.
I bet they
But
gave
there's
him a
that whole thing
shitload
about
of money.
people's estates, though, isn't there? Using images of deceased famous people.
Yeah. But it's one thing using a photograph. Mind you, they did it with Bob Monkhouse, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, he did a load of adverts for cancer when he died.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did he do those before he died?
No, he did them after.
Wow.
adverts for cancer. That's a bit fucked up, isn't it?
No, not selling it.
Oh, all right, okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I didn't think very much of it. But to be honest, I don't think I've really enjoyed any of the Jurassic World saga. The first one was okay.
Jurassic Park. Yeah. I think you're right.
That was ages ago as well. That was
Quite like
94.
Jurassic Park ride in Florida.
Yeah. Have you ever liked a dinosaur-based film? I think that's a no.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Crawling for them.
Yeah, probably not. Oh well, if you count like King Kong,
That's not. Well,
What, the new one?
the old one.
Oh.
the original one, the black and white one, or
Yeah,
Jeff
the original
Bridges.
one.
Yeah,
Or the 70s one. Quite like the 70s one.
Jeff Bridges one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the original one, that's got a T-Rex in it, hasn't it?
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I think it does. I
Yeah.
think you're right.
Oh, and I love the Godzilla films, not the new ones. The original ones where people dress up in big suits.
The
with
Japanese.
small
Yeah,
buildings.
yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Well, yeah, actually, I suppose if you look as a collective, there's some interesting sort of legends and stuff in it, and interesting monsters.
And I like the cartoon Godzilla.
And
from the
Godzuki.
depths. 30
And,
stories.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
With Godzuki. That was good.
yeah, that's probably as good as it got there. That's the thing. That's where we're going with
That
this.
was the pinnacle.
All right, anyone else got any news?
We went to see Hereditary,
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So
And
now, this is billed as
the scariest movie for our generation.
The Exorcist
Ever.
for
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
generation.
Both
Right.
of them should not
And I
have been
think-
on the poster.
No, and I think not going into spoilers, general kind of themes, but it's just such a stupid. If it was the marketing department who came up with that, they're idiots,
Yeah.
because it just sets an entirely unattainable expectation,
Yeah.
and it does fail to achieve that expectation.
The second you read it, you know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
The second I saw that, I was like, bullshit. And then I saw the trailer and went, confirmed.
They may have got away with it. The first half hour of the film is amazing.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good. And
Proper
and you
creepy.
think, because it's very original, it's very fresh.
Okay.
You're really absorbed into the characters and the story, and it's building up a bit of a pace.
Yeah.
And it's just got kind
And
of one concept.
yeah, and really good performances as well.
Okay.
So Toni Collette plays Annie, Alex Wolff plays her son, and Millie Shapiro plays Charlie, the daughter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the three of them. I mean, Gabriel Byrne's in it, and Anne Dowd is quite a key character as well. But those three,
They're
I think,
Chopsy.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
But
really good.
there's something that happens, and then after this thing that happens,
Yeah.
which is amazing, and you're left like really gobsmacked, thinking, bloody hell. Then it just descends and kind of pull every kind of horror concept or trait and throw them all in together.
Ah, see, because when you started off saying, you said it was original, that originality,
Yeah,
and that's
all
what
went out the window.
Yeah.
Like about half an hour into it.
And there are some really good bits where, you know, there are shots that kind of draw on that classic horror. You go, did I just see something? And you kind of feel the hair on your arms stand up. And you go, that's going to be amazing. And then a little bit later, they do a similar thing, and you kind of you go, oh, am I seeing something? And then for me, it went a little bit Keystone Cops, just for like 5 seconds, and you go, what have you done there?
And
come on.
And there's no logic to it. So if it had been,
we're not looking for logic. That's
isn't
fine. Fuck logic.
Well, to a certain extent, if it had been like a possession movie, for example, and it had been
You
consistent,
know what that is, Laurie, right?
That's the thing when you got like there's a thing on the back of your neck. Is that right, Malice Wallace?
I think so. Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
But if it had been that and it had been consistent all the way through, it'd have been amazing.
Yeah.
Or if it had been something about, I don't know, demons.
Yeah.
You know, again, if it had been consistent, it would have been brilliant. But it didn't do
or
that.
a kind of culty type thing, whereas it kind of went.
Is there a cop-out ending? It's not like a dream.
Well, it's not. But again, it's like you see the ending and it's like, oh, well, there's two other films that it's just stolen the ending from.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So.
But you say the beginning part is exceptional. You see some really inventive, new, fresh stuff.
You stop the film after half an hour, you'll go,
and then you'll be all right. Okay.
Yeah. And there are bits in the second half that.
Yeah.
You know, you go, that's. And actually, the characters in it, ordinarily, you kind of feel some affinity to them, right? But you don't really, other than Charlie, maybe.
Yeah.
But you kind of sat there, kind of going, no, yeah.
They can die.
I don't know whether you all deserve it.
Okay.
But, you know.
So I gave it about 7 out of 10,
that's
and
fair,
that's generous 7, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Okay.
But it's worth a look. Apparently, it's divided people. You know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. You know when they say like the greatest blah blah or the most scariest blah 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 that's come out for a long time. There was this is going back quite a while now. Actually, I thought about the most recent new film that I did see that was fresh, scary, interesting that I really rated. Now I have to go right the way back to Wreck. Remember Wreck? That Spanish film that came out. Kind of a little bit came out of nowhere. I think it got a bit of good press. So that's where it bumped on my radar. But when I watched that, I was just kind of blown away by it. It's a very, very, old basic idea, the whole sort of zombie thing. But it's more than that. You actually find out it's a possession thing. It's actually there's demons inside of it. And there's portals and all sorts of crazy stuff. So that was a really, really great film that surprised me. But with those original ideas. But obviously with this one.
But I don't mind a film not being using original ideas because you've only got a certain amount, haven't you? It's the way they do it, and I think their problem was they didn't just stick with one idea. Yeah. If they'd stuck with one idea,
much in. Okay.
Yeah, there was about 3 or 4 different concepts. I'm amazed that like a spaceship didn't come down as well at some point.
Right.
So if they just stuck with one and continued the style of the film and kept the tension up, it would have been amazing. But they just threw too much in at the end, I think.
And there is an element of, in all these kind of horror films that are based in people's houses, they're always massive houses and they're always really creepy.
Yeah.
Why buy a creepy house unless you want your life to come to a shuddering, awful end? It's just...
I love a creepy house. I love a creepy house setting. It's great.
Yeah. And if you're... for those of you who have kids who are listening, if your kids start having weird kind of clutter around the place... be a bit careful.
Yeah. What? That's like every freaking kid, right?
Yeah, well, kids are demons waiting to get you.
Yeah, basically. So that's the moral of that story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, we've got the other news, is that it?
No, that's it from me.
No. I've been off watching. I've managed to fit
You went to Blade
so
Runner
many
again.
films. Yeah, we won't talk about too much, but I did a little bit of the narrative this time. I managed to play with it as much as I possibly could play with it.
Before it got sore.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun.
He's got a massive grin on his face.
Yeah, no, it was good fun.
Excellent. All right then. So let's do In the Bean.
There it is.
All right. So my choice. I've watched quite a few things this month, but I have chosen the Darren Aronofsky film Mother, which I saw a couple of weeks ago. which I thought was brilliant.
Is this the Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem?
That's exactly the one.
Right.
Yeah, so it's about, again, a massive old house. She wakes up, it's all a bit weird. The camera follows her around constantly, and you're not quite sure what's going on. He's a really nice, happy guy. He's a writer or an artist or something. And she's like redoing the house because it starts with like all the house being burnt, and then it all like becomes normal, and she's doing this house up. And then this guy turns up who they don't know, and Javier just lets them into the house, and she's going,
that's Ed Harris, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like, why are you doing this? And then his wife turns up, who's Michelle Pfeiffer, and they just kind of virtually act like they're living there.
Right.
And then the next thing, their children turn up, and she's going, why are these people coming into the house? And it gets more and more crazy, and I can't give away what the whole concept is, but it's, you know, you could think it's a little bit pretentious, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just went the whole film. I got to the end of the film, and I could have easily just started watching it again.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I really.
That's
really
pretty good.
The
Didn't
trailer
you
looked
see it?
pretty
I thought you saw it.
No, I've seen the trailers, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so it's.
So that's dropped.
interesting to
That's
see what
dropped
you
on
think.
Sky, isn't it? So I need to get onto
Yeah,
it. Really.
yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
How about you, Laurie?
I get similar to you. I've watched quite a bit of stuff recently. They Live, John Carpenter.
You can only choose
Oh,
one.
okay, all right. I'm gonna choose again. John Carpenter, Attack on Precinct 13.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's one of the most well-known of Carpenter's films, but it's just a really sort of basic sort of setup, really, where you've got these sort of cartel gangs that have suddenly managed to get shitloads of weapons, really, and in a very sort of sleepy area, as it were, we've got this jailhouse where some cops just babysitting while they shut the actual jail down. So him and just a handful of other people are there looking after some inmates. And then there's this huge siege from these sort of shadowy cartel figures, and it's just basically like a siege off, as it were. Great soundtrack, good acting,
How old is
just
it?
good fun.
Yeah, who's in it?
Who's in it?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Answer my question first.
Because they
What was
remade
your
it.
question? How old is it?
Yeah.
70.
Oh right, okay. It's
Two-ish.
Because they remade it as well
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
with Lawrence Fishburne. I think it's Lawrence Fishburne and Ethan Hawke.
Right.
Is
That
that
could
Ethan's
sound
brother?
about right.
Is that Ethan Hawke's brother?
That's what I said. Ethan Hawke.
You said Ethan Hawke.
They're twins. It's difficult to tell.
But that's a really good one. It's a very, very sort of basic sort
Okay.
of film, but really, really enjoyable.
What did you watch it on?
On a TV.
Oh, shut up. What format? Netflix?
I bumped into it. I think it was just on TV.
Right,
It was on the channel.
right,
and that's
okay.
always great. There's something about when you put a DVD in, or you actually watch it on the TV. I don't know. There seems to be a little bit something more
You align with someone else's
alluring.
scheduling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of. I weirdly, I prefer
there.
that when
You're in the
something's being
zeitgeist.
televised. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Win, what about you?
Well, unlike the pair of you, I was telling Laurie on the drive over here, I haven't watched any TV for a month.
Good for you.
Not deliberately. We've got some building work happening at the house, and the TV's been packed away.
Yeah.
And I don't watch iPads or on laptops. So
This is great. All
I
the
literally
tits.
the only things I've watched over the last month are the two films we're reviewing today. It's been really boring.
Oh, have you been to the cinema?
I went to the cinema with you.
That's
it. Yeah, I've been reading books, but
Great.
there was a series that I was watching previously, which I was reminded of thinking about what to put in the beam, and it's Into the Badlands,
Okay.
which is an Amazon. I think it's Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically. I think there are 3 seasons of it now, so not a film, but it's basically a kind of dystopian future where this area of a country has been split into 9 baronies, and the barons are kind of like the feudal lords, and they all have cogs who are workers and clippers who are assassins, and it's basically kind of sword play, and it's an as long as you kind of, as you watch it, kind of go, I'm just going to accept this world, then you can get into it, and it's good. Yeah, it's entertaining.
What's it on?
I think it's Amazon.
Okay. All right, great.
When's Dark Crystal going to come out? Come on. When
What,
is
the
this
prequel?
coming? No, we're going to get a series, aren't we? The Dark Crystal.
Yeah,
the
but
series.
I think it's a prequel series.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know a guy actually that's been on set. He's been one of the little podlings. He really wanted to be a Skeksis.
Really?
Yeah, he wanted to be a Skeksis, but he's not. You give that to famous puppeteers, and he's not quite famous. He's a bit panto, bless him.
Podling's all right though.
Probably great. But he said he's seen the sets. It's all they've obviously they're doing this thing that pretty much everyone's doing now. Let's not CGI this shit. Let's do as much as we can.
Yeah.
And he said the sets are just phenomenal. They say it's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen in his life.
And considering this is Jim Henson's originally, you can't. You have to do it.
I think it's his daughter actually. I think she's manning the ship on this.
Oh well, that's good.
But it's going to be awesome. But I think it's ages. It's taken so long. But anyway, we should be seeing that soon.
Excellent. All right. Okay. What about On the Rocks?
I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna pass because I haven't seen anything. I can't.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
right.
Nothing from me.
Well, I saw a film called Little Evil, which had quite a high rating on Netflix, I think, and it's basically a spoof of The Omen, and it's just awful. I mean, it's just terrible.
There's nothing more to say.
Nothing more to say, really. I mean,
when you say it's a spoof of The Omen.
Oh yeah, so
is it trying to be funny?
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be one of it's like a comedy spoof of it. Oh, he's such a nice guy, really, and I'm actually, I don't know how I got pregnant. All this kind of nonsense. And hey, little guy, that it's the father. He's like the stepfather, and he comes into his life, and he's trying to befriend him, but he keeps killing people off and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
It's just terrible.
Poke.
There's a very pained look on your face, James.
Yeah, and I think it's even worse because I like The Omen so much. Yeah. It's like, stop fucking around with The Omen. So,
it's actually an official... It's not an official remake of Omen, is it?
No, it's a spoof of The Omen.
Right, I see.
He said that.
So...
That's why I said that time a little bit slower.
Yeah. Sorry.
How about you?
So my On the Rocks, actually, I'm going to be a bit of an idiot. It's not massively on the rocks for me, but there's some parts that are a bit pants that didn't work. So this is M. Night Shyamalama's Split. Yeah, have you seen it?
I have seen it.
I've seen it as well.
You've seen it as well? Okay, great. So, I mean, it starts off, and I think, what's his Scottish face?
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy. I think he does a really good little turn in it. He's obviously playing all these different characters, similar to the Orphan Black series, which not a lot of people have seen, but it's really great. She basically plays thousands of different characters, does a really good job, and he does a very similar thing here, and that's really good. And the film sort of sets itself up, and you follow it through. But where the element for the Roxy bit for me is, it kind of condones self-harm. It's okay, you're true if you're really, really disturbed and pained. And then the way they tie it into a film that I actually really like is Unbreakable. Yeah. You've got this last scene, and they should have made this film maybe 5 or 6 years before, because Bruce is looking knackered.
Yeah. Well, have you seen Shyamalan has just sent out the teaser poster for the third film in the trilogy, called Glass.
Right.
So it's Unbreakable, Split, and Glass.
Glass will be about...
Okay.
It's pulling them all in together. So
Samuel L. Jackson's character, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I do like that idea. It did make me smile.
It had some good bits, but a lot. It was a bit of it was cringy. Yeah. I did like it when he was playing the middle-aged woman, or the kid, really.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah.
The kid was supposed to be 8. Yeah, he definitely didn't feel like an 8. I'm sure he's got kids. So he must have been challenged. I was like, fucking hell, your kids are advanced. That's an 8-year-old. But there was lots of stuff that just didn't quite work. Really, did it? And that bit where you see kind of Bruce at the end sort of saved it for me, because I was really thinking, what is that the point of this film? Just self-harm and pain. But I understand that's the channel into allowing these other spirits or personalities into you, because you're kind of fleeing away from reality, or giving yourself exposure to these other sort of skills or techniques to just get through life, as it were. That's kind of the premise of it, isn't it? That sort of split personality. But anyway,
all right, good stuff. Right, let's move on then. Let's get on to our main feature presentation.
Woo! Ta-da.
You know what it's like, James.
What's that, mate?
Finally tired of living in London, you spent ages looking for a new place for you and Columbo to call home. Somewhere you can take long walks along the beach, enjoy the fairground on the pier, and immerse yourself in your favourite culture, Americana.
Excellent! I love America. Big Elvis fan.
I know you are, mate, and that's why you've picked the beautiful Californian coastal paradise of Santa Carla. 370 days of sunshine a year, a wonderfully liberal, artisanal and creative community with wall-to-wall wieners on sticks, truth, justice and the American way. There's just one small problem.
Is it all the damn vampires?
That's right, mate, it's all the damn vampires.
They bloody well ruin everything, don't they?
Certainly do, mate. But you found yours in Columbo's paradise on Earth. Are you going to let a load of upside-down sleeping, turning your noodles to worms and your rice to maggots, blood-sucking lost boys ruin your idyll?
Well, when you put it like that, I don't want to, but what can I do?
It's a great question, James, and it shows willing. What you need is the patented Frog Brothers Vampire Survival Kit, complete with wooden stakes for driving through their undead hearts, garlic salt, garlic socks, garlic t-shirts and a garlic-laced jockstrap specifically designed for both groinal support and vampire repulsion. With this top-of-the-range kit, you and Columbo can trip the like fantastic up and down the Pacific foreshore at any time of day or night, completely carefree.
Oh, brilliant. I love tripping the light fantastic.
Who doesn't, James? Who doesn't? That's right, kids. For the measly sum of £869,000 payable in 3 equal instalments, you too can own the patented Frog Brothers Vampire Survival Kit. First come, first staked. Safety warning, while garlic effectively repels vampires, the combination of too many heavily garlic-laced products may well cause human repulsion as well. High concentrations of garlic can cause minor and major irritation, so wear your garlic jockstrap with caution.
Alright, so, coming-of-age movies. I don't know what was wrong with me last month.
Go on.
But there must have been something seriously wrong to allow me to agree to let you choose Salems as a coming-of-age movie. I don't know what I was saying. It's right. You tricked me because I like Stephen King so much and I like Salem's Lot.
Right.
But there is no way on earth this is a coming-of-age movie. We have got things like My Girl, Juno, The Lost Boys, Stand By Me, It, The Sandlot.
Yeah.
And you chose Salem's Lot.
Yeah. It's from Mark's
And they don't come of
perspective.
age because they died. Well,
Mark's perspective, and that was by claim
Too
when
loose.
I first lumped this baby up.
Too loose. I
Right
don't
at
think
the
we should
end,
even review
he's
it.
there with
Punishment.
David.
Oh, well, hold on.
No,
I spent 3 hours watching this bloody
There we
film.
are. We will review it. But it's just not a coming-of-age movie.
I know. I'm always going to be slippery. I'm sorry, but from Mark's perspective, you see his journey.
But I think we lost out on a lot of good films
Well,
there.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, Stand By Me is obviously the kind of screamingly obvious one. But does that really?
But even if you wanted to choose Stephen King, there's 7 kids
yeah.
all come of age in
All
that
come
film.
of age. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Anyway, right. So I've got a bit of information about coming of age, which is a bit harder than usual. On TV, I found I chose The Wonder Years.
Great series.
That was
Fred
brilliant.
Savage.
Yeah. The In-Betweeners. Dawson.
That is
bit
just
tenuous.
always makes me really uncomfortable watching
I do like The In-Betweeners,
like, oh my god.
And then Dawson's Creek,
Dawson's Creek.
which I never actually watched, but
Hi,
I
I'm
know
James
Louise did.
Vanderbeck.
Did you watch it?
Dawson's Crack.
Yeah.
That was a uni, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I may have seen a couple of episodes.
Okay.
Your wife was a massive fan.
There you go. Yeah.
Only because, at the time I was sharing a house with her and I was bored for the hour. When everyone sat down to watch Dawson's Creek and I wouldn't refuse to watch it, I had nothing to do.
You had stuff to do. You could go off and do stuff. That's what you do.
Oh, by the way, just sorry to interrupt.
Was Paul Marilyn Manson?
No. No, yesterday, Louisa, she wanted me to raise this, that she can do a good Tom Hardy impression.
How does it go?
Well, I can't do it, but she wants a guest
From what
a
film?
guest
Yes.
slot.
Does he
Just
have-
all of his films.
Oh, great!
Does he have a thing?
Yeah,
that-
he's got Bane, or or what's the other thing he's been in?
He's been in The
Recently.
Revenant.
Yeah, but no. So but no. From Peaky Blinders, he
I haven't
plays
seen it.
a Jewish gangster.
Oh right. So I reckon she's going to unzip an accent.
Right, so if anyone else has got an accent and they want to send it to the show, an impression of a celebrity, a film actor, then we'd be more than happy
That'd
to
be
play them
wonderful.
out.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
we
sorry
can play
about
a game. We could guess who they're
this
trying
is.
to be.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, send in your things now.
Actually, should we make a recording of her? Should we play her now? Her impression?
No, not now.
Okay.
Because it's going to be too hard because I want to get this out today. 'cause
Okay.
We're late. All right.
All right, sorry about
Okay, so music, I just thought everybody's coming of age in music, so I didn't bother writing it. You know, they're all about that age. Who died? James Dean.
Did he?
Yeah, Corey Haim, River Phoenix. They were all about. They came of age, then died.
They did, yeah. Like these beautiful little buds.
I thought
and
they
then
would pop. Weren't they all around 27? Isn't that like the magic number?
Yeah, but well, not all of them were, but that's close enough. I don't know.
You've already come of age when you're 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a little bit younger. I think River Phoenix definitely in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top 5 grossing films. Well, they're not really the top 5 grossing films, but I've already said them really. My Girl Juno, The Lost Boys, The Sandlot, Stand By Me, and It. So there we go. Right,
You
so...
should pick some of them.
So let's start with...
What? It's from
Really? Yeah. You can't know. It's just not excusable.
It is.
Are you... Who's choosing next month?
You are.
No,
No, he chose that. Oh no! Wait a minute, because I have to pick what you guys
Yeah.
plumb.
So we can pick like proper ones.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Right, okay, so let's start with Salem's Lot. Shall we have a clip?
Yeah.
Ben Mears has been away too long. And now at last, he's come home.
The men fought at Valley Forge.
Daddy, come back safe.
Home to the childhood memories, to the old familiar faces, to a life unmolested by time.
And with your saints, let him rejoice in your presence forever. We ask it through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Home to Salem's Lot. A town too good to be true.
What was that?
Did you happen to notice the time when the boys left?
We shouldn't have gone through the woods.
It's a shortcut.
Well, they should have been here half an hour ago.
Wait! Danny, wait!
Something is happening.
Right, okay, so first impressions. When did everybody first see this?
About a week ago.
You saw it a week ago.
I was so lucky. I was sat next to my mum, staying up a little bit too late, and mum allowed me just to sit there and watch it. It was in 2 episodes, so one night it was on really late. You get the first half, and then Mum, can I come and sit back and watch the second? Yeah, of course you can. And she let me watch the second half the next night. So that's my first experience of it. I must have been around 11, something like that, 10 or 11, and. Wow!
Did it scare you?
Yeah, it scared the shit out of me. But I was obsessed with it. That's when I completely fell in love with it. Obviously, there's such an awesome amount of images in it that just completely affected
Well, we'll get
me.
onto that in a minute.
Yeah.
I came to it a bit later. I think I didn't see it until I was about 16, 17, something like that.
Yeah.
And when I first saw it, I thought it was very dated, because we'd obviously had all the Nightmare on Elm Streets and things like that. I think I'd seen The Lost Boys before I saw this and all this kind of stuff. But before we do that, let me tell you a bit of information about it. So it was released in 1979 as a TV movie in 2 parts, as Laurie just said. Director Tobe Hooper, who also directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Funhouse, Poltergeist, Life Force,
That's
Texas
the one.
Chainsaw Massacre 2. This guy's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, he's great.
So the screenplay was by Stephen King, who wrote the novel, and Paul Monash, and it made $4 million. Notable actors: David Soul from Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
Looking good in tight jeans.
James Mason.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Amazing. Lance Kerwin, I think he played... I don't know. We'll have to check on that. Someone check on that.
It could be Mike. Is it Mike the gardener?
Yeah, that's who I was thinking. And Bonnie Bedelia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who? So I saw
Die
this.
Hard. It's Die Hard.
She's
Holly
Holly
Gennaro.
Gennaro in Die Hard.
Or
I was sat there looking at it,
McClane.
kind of
Holly
going,
McClane?
I know her. Where do I know her from? Where do I know her from? And eventually it went, she's in Die Hard.
Yes, she is.
Okay, so first thoughts. What do we think of this film?
I enjoyed it,
Yes, you did.
but
Damn you, Alan!
but I think it's just one of those Stephen King adaptations that you kind of get used to the fact that I think I love him as a writer, but he's a novelist, not a screenwriter. I think.
Right.
So all these kind of films, his novels never really transpose brilliant, or rarely. I don't think. Bearing in mind the novels, I think are amazing.
Yeah.
You always lose something in translation.
I think this freaking. For I think this totally works.
And again, no, I think it works.
Works.
I think it works, and you can actually see the fact that it's. If you didn't know it was Stephen King,
yeah,
I think that he comes across in this brilliantly. You can tell just the pace of it, the kind of the layers that he's building on it. You can kind of. This is clearly Stephen King.
I agree with what you're saying, but I think this is one of the only ones that actually works.
So I haven't read it.
Well,
I've never read it.
I'm trying to see it again without because I've read it a couple of times.
I don't think it should be about this book, though.
No, that's what I'm trying to do, not bring that into it. But there's a reference to a baby going missing from the morgue, and there's a whole bit in the book about this baby coming back and like nuzzling on his mother's breast and all that kind of stuff. But if you just look at it as a film, I think it takes all the layers of the different characters and actually puts them together. When a lot of the time you think it's too bloated and too full, this kind of moves about at just enough of a pace to keep everyone interested.
And it has, like you say there, it has characters. You know, Danny Glick and what's her name? Basically her mum, her father, the police chief's sidekick. All of them are realised, contained, characters that you feel and understand. The old teacher, Mike, the graveyard digger. Every character actually is a character. Boom Boom Bonnie.
Yeah. So we're jumping around a bit. Just for context, right? So it's set in a town called Salems Lot, short for Jerusalem's Lot, and this writer, what's his name again?
Ben Mears.
Ben Mears. He comes back to the town because he grew up there as a kid, and he was terrorised by this house. The Marston House.
That's it.
And because this guy
horrific.
His mum used to work there.
Yeah, and she was a housekeeper there. The old guy, Huey Marston, was basically a child molesting killer.
Yeah.
And I think he saw him hanging in there or something. So he's come back to the house to write to the town to write a book about this house. And at the same time, you've got this vampire turning up.
Straker, a shadowy character, turns up
which
in
is
town.
James Mason.
Yeah. Who is opening up his antique exotica shop. And him and his business partner, Mr. Barlow, who we never see. Just basically setting up in town, and then Straker buys the Marsden house and moves in.
And this is King's second or third novel. You've got all the classic elements of King coming through here. So you've got the main protagonist being a writer, the haunted house, the
sleepy town, the English.
The American, the sleepy American town.
Yeah. All those kind of subplots of society, of a contained little society, all the affairs.
The outsider coming in, setting up his... Needful Things was basically all about a guy coming into a town, opening a shop, and then selling people. He was the devil, basically, selling things to the devil.
You know that actor's name?
Which one?
The guy who Needed for Things.
Needed for Things.
Needed for Things?
No, I can't really remember.
Cedar. That's
Max Von.
Oh, Jesus.
we're teaching James today. He's learning things.
So,
the interesting thing is, though, it's not that interesting, but Barlow as the vampire, I'm reading the Dark Tower series at the moment.
Right, yeah.
And he's referenced in the Dark Tower.
Yeah.
Also,
be
Barlow has got a much larger... I know we weren't talking about the book, but he's got a much larger presence in the book, and he talks and all this kind of stuff, whereas he's basically Nosferatu in this, isn't he?
And that I think was my... I think that was my... If they'd got... I wanted a bit more from Barlow, I think.
No, he didn't need any more. It was powerful as hell.
You didn't need any more. I wanted more.
You don't want him talking, though, do you? You don't want to hear the cut of his jib.
No.
I think the thing was, because James Mason, as his familiar,
Straker,
was so good.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
He could do all the bits, couldn't he?
Yeah.
There was a bit where Barlow flies through the window, kills a couple of people, and Mason turns up and just says everything.
Yeah.
It was basically the master having a standoff with the priest.
The master.
The priest is there. So your faith against his faith, and the
that
priest
was good.
is there.
Yeah, that was
And
good.
obviously he's got the cross, but then obviously you see a fault in the priest's eye, like a flash of doubt or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then the master just grabs the crucifix, screws it up, chucks it on the floor. then a lovely striking violin kicks in.
The thing is,
Brilliant.
the characters were so good. I bet we could choose virtually any character, and you could think of a good bit that they had.
Yeah.
For example, the estate agent guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's there getting it on with his secretary or whatever.
Boom, Bonnie.
And then he's about to get shot in the face. That
Yeah,
bit's
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. It is.
Yeah,
And then he
by her
walks out the
husband.
door and goes, yeah, gets shot.
Cha-ching!
Yeah.
The music's great in this. I love it. Really, like the theme tune. Ooh, you got all that stuff. But when I sing it, I always keep thinking of the Crystal Maze. Ooh, but it does do that, though. Awesome.
What do you think of the plot then, the story?
Absolutely love it. Like we've already touched on here, you've got that sort of basic idea, you know, a guy that's got memories is coming back to his hometown. That hometown is completely realised. And then just the way the characters just tick through, and obviously this appearance of Straker, and the way that slowly sort of infects the town. You see the characters falling to pieces, as it were. It's just wonderful. And then you got the house as well with the end climactic scenes. Wonderful. The master again, he sort of appears later on in the film. So you just got this wonderful pace. I absolutely love this film so much.
I tell you what what it reminded me of a lot.
Yeah.
Twin Peaks. I was looking at it and I was thinking the way they kind of laid all the characters and stuff.
Yeah.
It was just had a real element. I think especially because the affair was going on and he was sneaking around the back, it reminded me of a lot of Twin Peaks. But I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's good.
What do we think about the effects?
Awesome. Just really awesome. Very, very basic. Again, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
I see your face now. I see your face.
It was 1979, I suppose.
So, but I thought this, and then I thought, because I thought, they're not great. And then I thought, but it is 1979. And then I thought, actually, last episode, Invasion of the Body Snatchers was made before this, and we said the effects in that were brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a budgetary thing. I think.
Yeah, I think
it was a made for TV.
The eyes look good. I really like the eyes.
The eyes were good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is a really big point of mine. This is a huge reason why I love this film as well. So if we're talking about the effects, right? So what essentially the vampire has is just kind of sort of bluish purpley skin and amazingly bright yellow eyes, and then obviously you've got the fangs
and the talony
bits. So it's really just a bit of makeup and a couple of bits that are glued on. And that's pretty much about it. But this is the thing about this film. The vampire it's essentially a monster. Where you've kind of got nowadays where you've got sort of Twiglet and all that stuff. Their concept of a vampire is it's you've been bitten, but then now you have
really
to
shiny.
live in life. You know, like Interview with a Vampire, Lestrade and all that stuff. It basically, Lestrade was Lestrade, became a vampire, and now he has to live and get on being a vampire. To me, that's not a vampire. A vampire is you get bitten. You're now a monster. You are just completely there. And the only sort of relation to what you were is that power to manipulate the people that love you and have lost you. So if you're tapping at the window going, let me in, let me in,
That's
Mike.
creepy.
Your eyes and just that connection to that's the only thing that really overlaps from when you were that and then now you are this. But the vampire's just doing it malevolently just to hypnotise you in.
Yeah.
So you will open the window.
I think you've got that, but I think you've also got a memory of yourself, like a shadow of yourself. So when the mother wakes up in the morgue,
where are you, Danny?
yeah, that was the first thing she was kind of saying and stuff.
Yeah, but it's very subtle. She's still now a monster. She's not her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's this. I think this is probably the only vampire film that we've had for years. Because I mean, when Lost Boys came out, all of a sudden went back to the effects thing.
They're cool and shiny.
They became sort of Klingonic.
Yeah.
They had these big sort of brow things. So then that happened in Buffy. So now vampires look like Klingons.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Yeah.
And Klingons don't look like Klingons anymore.
Do they not? What's going on with the world?
But
so their decision to make these vampires look the way they did and sort of position the way as this malevolent monsteristic, kind of evil, I fucking love. And you don't really get that anymore. There's no real...
And I agree, that's great, but that isn't the only effect in the film.
Oh, right, yeah.
So from an effects perspective,
yeah,
when they kill him at the end and his decomposition is a little bit stop play.
Yeah.
It's not
and
very
the
good.
teeth disappear and then they reappear.
Yeah,
and
there's
that works.
And the bit when Danny Glick is killed in the hospital, and there's a massive smattering of blood. It's a massive smattering of Ribena. And that's what I mean by the effects being low budget.
Yeah.
But I did like his kind of pose on the bed when they found him dead.
There's no massive splattering of blood.
There is a load of blood in it.
I don't remember that bit.
I think there's one drop of blood in this film.
No, I've got it. It says Ribena instead of blood at hospital.
It could have been Ribena because the nurse comes in and screams, but he is laid all sort of contorted.
No, it's definitely blood.
Right. I don't remember blood.
I thought there's one drop of blood in this whole film.
Yeah.
That's on Mike's bed.
I honestly don't remember that bit. I remember them walking in, the kids like that.
Oh, so it might actually have been Ribena?
Yeah, I think she was holding a train.
So that's actually a very good
That's a good effect.
That's a good effect.
I like the effect of Danny as well, and the little kid coming through the window.
Yeah, so that's the moment.
Yeah,
that's the moment.
Good.
When I was a kid, that was the moment that blew my mind.
But what I said about Hereditary, if your kids have weird trinket stuff around their rooms, troubles are coming.
Yeah, but he did all right with that. I love the way he got pulled off his little cross. And
that's when the older kid turns up. What's the name of the little kid? Danny's little brother. Anyway, that's the scariest one for me when he turns up. And they use a very very simple trick. Well, again, what we're talking about effects. They reverse the film.
Yeah.
So as he arrives, he's got weird movement to him, and the smoke obviously kind of appears
billowing
as he appears.
Yeah. And
then he comes into the room and it's just such an awesome scene.
So, what's your memorable scene?
Well, it's definitely that one, and I think it's probably when I first saw The Master, because at the time I'd see like these weird photos every now and again of Nosferatu, this really scary looking thing. I'll have my horror magazines, as it were. And you ever see like shots of it. I never saw the film, but then I get to see him this huge thing turns up. So that the boy coming and The Master.
Yeah, I think part of The Master for me was a bit ruined by the Fast Show.
Oh, was it? They do
Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse did a sketch
of
Nosferatu, and as you say, there's a real similarity between Nosferatu and Barlow the Master, and that kind of is a bit, especially when he first appears, it's almost like ta-da!
Yeah, it is, but it does. It does do ta-da!
Yeah, and it was a little bit. I could just hear Paul Whitehouse in the background, so that it took the edge off that for me slightly.
All right,
but I agree. I think the scenes when the Glick boys are coming at the window, I think those are really, really good. And I really like the scene, we mentioned it earlier, where Bam Bam Bonnie's husband is catching them, her and her. That whole with him in the shotgun, you're there thinking, holy shit, I did not expect him to blow this guy's face off.
Particularly wearing those shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
They are awesome.
I think my memorable scene is going to be the bit at the end where he's pulled out, what's the name of that Straker? The vampire? Yeah. And the boy's sitting there watching because he's hurt his ankle, and the other vampires are slowly climbing up, just out of focus. Yeah, that's brilliant.
And he's knocked the light as well with the stakes.
Yeah,
he's got the light shine.
Rocket.
So again, like Toby Hooper, he knows what he's doing.
I do say
he knows what he's doing.
They didn't make much of an effort to find what's her name at the end.
No, I saw that. Just let the house burn.
Because she's obviously not been turned into a vampire at that point because they're all asleep. So where is she? Have a proper look.
Yeah, exactly.
Or kill the other vampires and then find her.
Yeah, completely agree.
And this is back to my coming of age.
Lovely added.
When do they find her? They find her in Mexico or something.
She finds them in
Guatemala.
But that's to your point earlier, that this is great because the vampires have no kind of residual element of who they are. That at the end, that goes out the window.
That's true. Yeah, there is, but it's all because of a malevolent. Because this is what I'm saying about where Twiglet, he is completely the same person, but he's getting on.
But
with
that's because those are stupid.
Malevolently trying to.
Yeah, but all vampires are malevolent. So you talk about the Strahd in Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, but he only kills these women because that's what he's got to do now. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's.
But he hasn't got like this sort of like
driven
the devil. He's not the same thing anymore. Yeah. He's evil.
What about Duckula? He's not malevolent.
No, he's true.
They just don't do it. This is the only film I cannot think of another vampire film where they are vampires.
On that wonderful note, I think we should score it.
Can I just quickly one final thing? Your comment about how great the eyes were. The bit when Mike the Gravedigger comes back and he's just sat in the chair.
Yes.
And the teacher, that's pretty good.
Yeah. He's very good actually. Yeah,
that was good.
Right, all right, let's score it. Okay, you got your score sheets ready?
I do.
I'm pre-scored.
Oh, well done,
Damn
Wyndham.
it, I'm not pre-scored. Okay.
All right. Okay. Performances.
5.
9.
8.
Effects. 7.
5.
8.
Plot. 9.
5.
8.
Rewatch factor. 9.
9.
3. It's 3 hours long. I don't have that kind of spare time lying around.
You
I'm a
just
busy
got to
man.
camp out, but the original way you got to eat it is actually in two sections.
Hefty meals, yeah.
Rewatch factor.
We just did
Oh, sorry. Direction. 7.
9.
5.
Cinematography. 7.
5.
7.
Sound and music. 7.
5.
8. Because it's got that cliches about it, but it's just wonderful. And like you know, when he runs out from Boom Boom Bonnie and the hand comes up, it's jinning.
There were a couple of those zooms were brilliant. The hand zoom is great, and there's one on Danny's face.
Yeah. When he comes up, you see the shadow. You just see the shoulders and the head, and you don't know who it is. Turns out that was Straker.
Originality. 6.
I've gone 5 because it borrows very heavily from Dracula.
Yeah. That's why I did.
But it's just this is King's idea. What if vampires turned up in a little town?
In America, a little American town.
That's why he gets 5 points.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah, sorry. 6.
All right. Enjoyability.
6.
8.
8. And life-changing, past or present, I gave it a 5 because it didn't really change my life when I first saw it.
9.
0.
All right. So let's add up our scores and see where we are.
This always takes a while.
This is why you should pre-score. Smugly sat here.
Okay, well, I get 74.
I gave it 44.
76.
Gives it a grand total of 194. And therefore a movie Lighthouse rating of 64.6.
Oh! Right, that puts it in second place.
Yes, it does!
So just below Phantom of the Paradise.
Yes, it
and
does!
And above Crash. Great.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy with that.
Am I alright with that?
Yeah, you're alright with that.
Yeah, I think I'm alright with that.
Phantom of the Paradise, Salem's Lot, Crash. Even though Crash is a better film, but whatever.
You know what it's like, James.
What's that, mate?
It's the end of a busy week, and you and Columbo have just finished preparations for another one of your famous dinner parties. The prawns have been cocktailed 70s style, the pheasant is roasting slowly in the oven, the trifle has been suitably fed with sherry, and the cheese is slowly rising to room temperature.
Oh, excellent. It sounds like a gastronomic extravaganza.
That's exactly what you throw, mate. But there is a problem. Over the last few days, you've become aware of some sort of entity, and it's covering things in slime, and it's scoffing all your food.
Oh no, is it a focused on terminal repeating phantasm or a class 5 full roaming vapour?
That's exactly what it is, mate.
Oh, I bet it's a real nasty one as well.
Couldn't be nastier. But what are you going to do about it?
I don't know, cancel the dinner party and phone Max von Sydow?
Well, it's an option, but bringing in Big Macs might be a little overkill. No, what you need is a fully patented proton pack and trap. Harnessing the power of the unlicensed proton particle accelerator, you can cause wanton destruction throughout your house, destroying light fittings, table decorations and wall hangings alike, before ensnaring your ghoul and capturing it in your patented foot-operated ghost trap.
Woohoo! Well done me!
Well done you indeed, James. Well done you. That's right, kids. For the measly sum of £869,000, payable in 3 equal instalments, you too can own a patented, unlicensed proton particle accelerator and foot-operated trap. We are ready to believe you. Safety warning. Backwall proton particle accelerators should be operated with extreme caution, as crossing the streams could cause all life as you know it to stop instantaneously and every molecule in your body explode in a speed of light.
Alright, so, Donnie Darko. Should we play a clip?
Yeah.
It was as though this plan had been with him all his life, pondered through the seasons. Now, in his 15th year, crystallized with the pain of puberty.
So, why'd you move here?
My mom had to get a restraining order against my stepdad. He has emotional problems.
Oh, I have those too. What kind of emotional problems does your dad have? I met a new friend.
Real or imaginary?
Wake up, Donnie. Imaginary.
Alright, so let me tell you a little bit about it. It was released in 2001. Director was Richard Kelly. Screenplay Richard Kelly. Box office, it made $7.5 million at the US box office. And It had Jake Gyllenhaal, Jenna Malone, Mary McDonnell, Drew Barrymore, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Patrick Swayze. Anyone else?
Seth Rogen.
Yeah. There's all sorts of people.
Loads of people in it.
Yeah, it's obviously one of those films. Sometimes you get this film where
breakout
everyone
film
came from there.
Yeah. Noah Weil, isn't it?
Okay.
I thought Ryan Reynolds was in it because there's that one of Donnie's mates who's like a wise talking asshole, basically.
Yeah.
And I thought that's Ryan Reynolds, isn't it? Is it?
It's not there.
Well, it wasn't.
No.
So, first, when did everyone first see this? I went to see it at the cinema.
Me
when
too.
When I was at college. And I really liked it when I first saw it at the cinema. I thought it was different, it was interesting, quite refreshing.
Yeah, it's great. I really enjoyed it at the cinema.
So I didn't see it at the cinema, but I saw it maybe a year or so after that. So I did actually see it round about when it came out. Yeah, really good.
Now, coming back to it,
Yep.
I thought it was a little bit dated and I wasn't as impressed, certainly as much as when I first saw it. I thought it felt old.
Really?
And I don't know if it was some of the effects or that I just thought it didn't grab me half as much this time watching it again.
So I'd almost completely forgotten what happened in the film. Other than the kind of key, there's a big rabbit.
Yeah. Which is handy.
Yeah.
So you've come back to it fairly
and
fresh.
Absolutely, completely grabbed me again.
Yeah.
To me, it's dated insofar as obviously everybody's that much younger, but for me, it still shone quite brightly. And yeah, some of the effects you kind of go, but
definitely still stands up.
Okay,
the only effects that any element for me that could construed as dated is there. You keep getting this eye that keeps flashing up. When an eye flashing up in a film is absolutely fine. I'm fine with. But once you start putting like data and like computer readouts on it and all this kind of stuff, that bit is a bit timed, as it were.
Now, right, so just a little synopsis about it. So it's about a guy called Donnie, Darko, and he's got some mental health problems. He sees a rabbit called Frank.
Yeah, but that's not his mental health problems. The Frank stuff's not the mental health stuff.
And it turns into like a kind of... This is a coming-of-age movie.
Yeah,
definitely.
it is actually.
Thankfully. But it's also about some like impending disaster, and it has time travel and stuff in it as well.
It does, yeah.
Now, the other thing to mention before we carry on is there's a couple of versions of this film, isn't there?
Are there?
Yeah.
So I watched the director's cut.
Now, you see, I'm not sure I did.
Right.
I'm not sure I
Because
did.
I'm not sure I remember those bits.
I was thinking, I was just nodding with you, kind of going, I don't pay attention.
I
to
don't
these
remember
films.
those
I don't
bits.
really
Now,
remember
there's
those.
two very different versions of this film.
Right. Oh, really? Are they really that different? To what degree?
Well, I don't know.
Well, if you watch one and they're very different...
Well, I haven't watched both of them, but that when you're talking about that eye bit, I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
No.
Oh, right, okay. So in the director's cut, there's just... And there's really no reason to it. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's basically kind of trying to denote...
Whose perspective is that eye from?
It's no one. It comes into...
Is it the letter eye or an eyeball?
That's a very good point. It's an eyeball. It's
Right.
an eyeball.
I was
And
thinking the same thing.
What that eyeball represents is essentially the science that's going on. So basically, time has split, and some wormhole has appeared there at that specific time. But that's also correlating with another
This is
time.
Einstein, Rosen bridges, and all that kind of stuff.
It's true. Yeah. But the more you go into the film as the film goes on, you realise it's just complete bullshit.
It's just a happy. This is a mechanism I'm going to use.
It doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
But it's just really essentially, a Christmas Carol. It's Scrooge, coming out of time and going back in the past, going back to the future, making change. Actually, no, Scrooge, because he comes back to the present, blah blah blah. But maybe like
it's nothing like Scrooge.
It's
a wonderful
nothing.
life.
He doesn't go back in time or anything.
Well, it's a wonderful life. Groundhog
He does.
Day.
He goes back in time at the end, kind of, to reset what's happened.
Yeah,
but
so he has to die, basically. He has to be laying in bed. He has to have the thing fall upon him.
So me and Wyndham have seen one version, you've seen another, and we have no idea what the differences are.
No.
Welcome to the movie lighthouse, shining a light through the folded film.
Other than if your version reminds you of Scrooge, it is very different.
Well, yeah, it's that kind of how he touches people and changes people's life. Shut up, and he gets their headphones. It's okay, and he falls in love with what's the character's name? I can't remember her name, but she, once he's died, she's actually never met him, but she's affected by him.
So the characters are brilliant.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, I love Drew Barrymore anyway, and I thought her characterisation was
She
great.
plays the teacher.
Yeah.
Young teacher, kind
sassy.
of stretching boundaries. And
and I like the inhibited girl who you were just talking about.
The Chinese one.
Shut up!
I don't think she's Chinese. I think she might be Hawaiian.
Korean, maybe. Or
Her dance is beautiful.
just make me sound
probably
racist.
offended so many people.
Oh, God.
And I loved the gym teacher. The really religious gym teacher.
Yeah. She's
The woman, yeah.
I doubt your commitment to. Oh God, what's the name of the dance troupe?
I wrote that down because it was a brilliant line.
Your commitment to
Sparkle motion.
Sparkle motion.
Sometimes I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion.
I love Patrick Swayze's character and his videos,
He's
his
wrong.
self-help videos.
He's a wrong. He wears that suit in Roadhouse as well, I think.
Does he?
Yeah, it doesn't work in the suit.
Roadhouse.
But
so I don't know why I don't really like it, because I thought the characters were great. I think I just found the plot a bit slow and grinding. Really.
It is, but I quite like that about it. So, and I think that I had completely forgotten that, Frank. The point. So the rabbit pops up for anyone who hasn't seen it. The rabbit appears and starts talking to him and telling him to do things, and it gives him sort of ideas about. So Patrick Swayze's character is this self-help guru who the very religious gym teacher is basically idolises, and she's like a groupie almost.
Yeah,
but
and his life thing is basically fear. It's all fear. Everything
fear
about,
and love.
Just stop fearing, man.
Yeah, and Donnie Darko, Jake Gyllenhaal's character, is effectively a genius child.
Yeah,
who doesn't really have to try and is just on it, and he basically picks this guy's arguments apart. And gets thrown out of school and all this kind of stuff. And then Frank turns up and tells him to burn his house down. Or he directs him down a street and he picks up a wallet and finds out, oh my God, this is Patrick Swayze's character's house. And then you just hear Frank kind of going, now you know where he lives.
Yeah.
Burn it down.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you said about Donnie's mental problems. So he'd burnt some houses down. He had trashed some houses.
Yeah,
because he's just an angry boy. And why is he angry? It sets it up right at the beginning of the film. It takes no time at all. Where he's push biking back into town, and you got the sprinklers, the leaf blower, and you just can see it's all hypocrisy, bullshit. We're going to smash all this shit.
And
down.
you can imagine that transporting today to today, and that whole kind of everybody's. Disaffected and everybody's disconnected, and it's that kind of what are we chasing? Why are we doing it?
Watching
why are we
self-help
running
videos.
through these processes and living in a world set by people who don't seem to know what they're talking about? And it doesn't resonate and chime with him, so he's kind of fighting against that. But the bit when this rabbit throughout it keeps coming in, and then they go to the cinema to watch Poltergeist.
No, they're watching Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, that was it. And Frank appears and takes his head off, and you realise that he's got an eye missing, and Donnie Darko's looking at him, and they're kind of joking and laughing, and he goes out at that point to burn Swayze's house down.
Yeah.
But then the bit at the end when the Pontiac Firebird comes in and runs over Donnie Darko's girlfriend, and Frank, the guy, gets out of the Pontiac, and I was there going, holy shit!
Yeah.
I completely forgot this happened.
Yeah.
And then Donnie kills him, shoots him in the eye.
Yep.
And it's just like, whoa!
It's a Christmas Carol. No?
It's
okay, maybe not.
It was, I think it's a great film.
It is good, and that the whole science bit is like they obviously. That's where they take loads of liberties. Like Miss Sparrow, she wrote this book. She was into science, and he gets that book and he starts understanding. Okay, what the hell is going on? And essentially, time is split for him, and he's kind of in another parallel universe, really, where he probably should have died. But I suppose that way to wrap it up, and the point of it is. I don't quite get it. He's touching people and changing things and burning down hypocrisies, whatever. But then when he does die, he didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
So, but it has still affected them. You know, Shut Up is still changed. The girl that you fall in love with still remembers him. I think
But the whole Patrick Swayze and child porn thing is still going on.
Well, yeah.
Well, he didn't get caught for that
Yeah.
in this new altered reality.
Yeah, and I think I probably made a really fatal error because at the end of the film you get this song that I cannot abide.
Do you know, I like it.
The R.E.M. song.
No, it's not R.E.M.
Tears for Fears.
It's not Tears for Fears.
All the familiar
Is that Tears for Fears? Is it?
Sung at places.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the way he sings it. And maybe I wouldn't mind the song, but when it came out, it was quite a big hit in the UK. And you got this dopey-looking cunt wearing this stupid fucking hat because he's fucking bald. And I've got nothing against baldness, but I just the way he sings it.
Just for our listeners,
brings
we
my
put out
arsehole up
that none
to
of
me.
us are bald on the podcast.
Yeah, none of us are bald. So sorry about that. But yeah, massive love for bald people. But yeah, I didn't get through literally to the last 30 seconds. So they could actually have been like a thing where I realised, oh, that was the point of this sort of, you know, splitting of time.
Sorry, you didn't watch the end?
The last sort of 30 seconds.
As that song plays.
The end.
Yeah, there's a little montage right at the end.
Yeah, so you didn't watch the end of the film.
It's a bit fundamental, really. That
Well,
shit.
I did that with the Avengers. I went to the Avengers the other day. I got
Infinity War.
I got so bored when a certain character got killed off. As spoilers, I decided to just leave. It was only about 5 minutes towards the end.
See, that's brave. Doing that at a cinema, I would never do that at a cinema.
Oh yeah, and there was no one was sticking around for the end of credit scenes. Right, what do we think of the effects? I thought they were pretty shonky. And I'm talking about that.
Yeah, the guide thing.
The
that comes
Oh no, the
in.
water.
It's like Abyss.
No,
it was like the thing out of Abyss, but not as good.
very much so. But no, I love the water. So the fate, essentially, fate and all that stuff. It's very trippy. You know, if you've ever explored in fields at certain times of the year, this stuff is stuff you can recognise and connect with. So you've got that fate element. I loved it. I thought it was cool.
The Einstein-Rosen bridge bit at the end that the jet engine goes through was a bit Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think.
Right.
But at the
do
end,
you know
though,
what? They didn't jar with me. They didn't take me out of it. I didn't look at them and kind of go. I was happy to go with them.
I didn't really feel anything by the end of this film. I didn't feel like, wow, really enjoyed that. Or
Yeah.
I felt like, I've done that now.
Well, it's a really good ride. The performances are really, really great.
It made me want to read that short story, The Destructors, was it?
Oh, Graham Greene.
Yeah.
Yeah. There must be something.
Graham.
All right, Graham.
Graham. No, that's how the Americans said it. Graham Greene.
Yeah, we should get some Graham Greene on.
Yeah. All right. What about standout moments? I mean, I love the rabbit. The image of Frank.
Yeah,
I really like.
It's proper creepy.
Yeah,
but
really
not
is.
in a horror way. So it's creepy, but not.
Yeah.
You think I don't feel any malevolence from.
Yeah, but
even though he looks
very
like it should be.
image, and it looked great.
Yeah,
there's again, like when I said It's a Wonderful Life, there's elements that remind me about this film. There's another Jimmy Stewart film called Harvey, where you've got a 6 foot tall rabbit,
invisible rabbit,
that we can't see, and so that's maybe tenuously linked to that.
In the fact, because I've never seen the film Harvey, can we see the rabbit?
No,
at all.
Yes, there is. I think there is one scene where we see the rabbit. Yeah.
Right.
I quite like. There's a scene where they all go off on their bikes to see what's her name, Sparrow.
Yeah.
At the party, so parents are out of town. They're throwing a party, and then
he says it's in the basement or something like that.
Donnie kind of freaks out, and he knows he has to go to the Sparrow who wrote the book and all that kind of stuff, and they all kind of charge off. 4 of them charge off on their bikes. It put me in mind of the Goonies.
Yeah.
And
E.T.
People used to push bike. Well, they still do. The kids kind of do, but they don't push like.
They're all on mopeds now, nicking watches and stuff. Aren't they?
Yeah. Segways.
And there was also bearing in mind,
have you not seen them on the Segways?
Can I go pretty fast on the Segway?
Well, not.
But bearing in mind, I came to this after watching Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the film, when Donnie Darko comes back from waking up on the street with his drop handlebar bike,
yeah,
and he comes home, his mum is reading It, Stephen King's It, and then
Yes,
Frank
yes.
and the rabbit are in a Firebird with a clown.
Right, so that's
linked together.
That's the other thing we should mention. Really, it's set in the 80s, isn't it?
No.
Is it not?
Yeah, it is.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I thought it was
it's set in the
90s.
80s.
It's set in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
It is. I think it's 87.
But it's quite subtly set in the 80s, isn't
Yeah.
it? You know, it doesn't-
They haven't gone for the cliches
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except that it was. Yeah, I think when it got to the it bit, it was like, oh yeah, this is the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, they're watching Evil Dead at the cinema.
Yeah. Yeah. All right then. Have we talked enough about that?
I think so. I have this for this film. I have the fewest number of notes of any of the films we've watched.
Yeah.
Because
So that,
there
I
was
think
no,
that's quite.
that's a
fine.
real positive thing because bits of it didn't jar.
Well, you didn't
Didn't take
take
me
the
out of
films
it.
we watched.
Yeah.
Right. So what I wanted to ask you, can we see any links between, without the obvious, because obviously coming of age, even though it's Salem's Lot wasn't coming of age, any links between Donnie Darko, Salem's Lot?
Oh, there's got to be something there. There's got to be some. I suppose you've got the characters. You've got realised characters.
You've got characters.
You've got characters. You've got a story.
We've got a plot.
I don't think so. I think
No, I
they're
don't
very
think so.
different.
Yeah,
aren't
they are very, very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
One's an outright monster movie,
Yeah.
and the other is not. It's a
Yeah.
It's a psychological.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose I just want to sort of summarise. I think it's really, really good, but you get sort of 2/3 through the film, and it goes a little bit more into Sparrow's chaos theory science bit, and it's a little bit like what are we getting at here? And then it's a nice wrap up at the end. But it's a good film. Sparrow reminded me a little bit of David Bowie from Legend. She had his hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. And there's a bit when in Patrick Swayze's house, when Donnie Darko goes in to burn it down, he's throwing gasoline, I guess the Americans would say, around the house. There's a portrait of him that makes him look like a love child between Sylvester Stallone and Brian May.
It was a very bad hand that painted that. Bless him.
Let's score it then. Okay, so got our score charts.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So
need to pen away though.
performances, I've given it an 8.
Yeah,
9.
agree.
I've got 9.
All right. Effects 4.
7.
I didn't like it. I really didn't like that effect.
The knife and his tapping, trying to tap through to Frank.
Yeah,
It was good.
And his eye pulses when he does that as well, doesn't it? Oh, that'd be the eye thing you're talking about.
Huh?
When he's going dink, dink with the knife,
Yeah.
one of Frank's eyes is going boom, boom, boom. It's pulsing as well. That goes yellow, doesn't it?
I imagine the eye thing is a reference
What
to...
the ball rape? So well.
Right, anyway, come on. Let's
No. The eye that I'm talking about just literally just cuts
Yeah,
in, so
I
it doesn't
don't
imply that it's
All
Frank.
right, plot. I've given it 5.
8.
7.
Rewatch factor 4.
7.
I'd say a 6.
Direction 6.
9.
7. I think this may have been one of the first films where you kind of go into a music video.
Yeah.
There's obviously the music in this film is very important, but you basically get the whole characters introduced to you. When Drew Barrymore first turns up, it's basically you're in a music video, and you get her character
And it's come up
completely.
fast forward and
No, slow.
Oh, no, not her. Oh, yeah, slow mo.
Yeah, it's also nice and
slow-mo.
slow mo with this, a cool track playing. I can't remember what the track is actually.
Cinematography 7.
9.
7.
Sound and music 7.
9.
6, and I put it down simply because that fucking familiar faces.
Originality 8.
I went 9.
I'm giving it an 8.
Enjoyability 6.
I went 8.
I'm giving it 7. It's pretty good. But it's a bit wise ass. It's definitely it's aware of itself.
Yeah,
a 7.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there about it being aware of itself. Life changing 6.
I went 5.
I'm going to go for. Wait a minute, you don't score anything on life changing.
No.
So talk about your 5.
Because it was, for me, it's not that it put me on a different path or anything like that, but when I first saw it and then when I saw it again, I just think the originality of it is something that I haven't seen in those other films that we've talked about, because I'm a lot older, I guess, and I'm kind of reflecting on, no, it's drawn from this, it's drawn from that. But also just that the imagery of it and that Frank the rabbit is just this, not overbearing is the wrong word, but this kind of ever-present, it's amazing imagery.
Cool.
All right, so I give it 61 altogether.
Okay. I have scored it 80.
Okay.
68.
Okay, giving a grand total of 209. And a movie lighthouse score of 69.6.
Wait a minute, is that higher than...
That's higher than Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
No!
Okay.
I think... Wait.
No,
Wait.
No, you can't
yours.
change it. That's it.
No.
All right, it's pretty close though. It's only 0.4 away from. Oh, no, 1.4. Anyway, that's a pretty. Let's put it right up there. Excellent.
No,
right.
it's not. Damn it.
All right. Well, listen, we've been talking forever.
Yeah.
And we want to do the solo review at the end as well.
Okay.
So, whose choice is it to rummage through my ball bag?
Apparently I can go in it.
Okie doke.
Well, that'll do.
Okay, I've lost the ball. Oh, there it is, Wyndham.
It's just behind that, like, scale.
In the lighthouse. We are actually in a lighthouse, by the way.
How did you bring this? Okay.
There we go. Dig deep, my friend.
Dig deep. We've got ourselves a slice of 38. That's 38.
Okay. 38 is Invasion.
Yay!
So, Invasion movies.
Fantastic.
Right, okay, so we'll be back in a second with our choices. Alright, and we're back. So, we got our choices.
Come on now, guys. Come on.
I hope we both are really traditional.
Yeah.
Well, I know that if I heard a film called Possession, I'd be choosing
Right,
that.
stop it. Right, my first choice
Go for
is Invaders from Mars, which is a classic old sci-fi movie, which I absolutely love.
50s, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Invaders from Mars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
And it's set...
You get two, right?
Let me just say,
Yeah.
it's set in a farm with a little boy called Jimmy.
Yeah, all
And
right.
I grew up on a farm, and my name's James.
And
I watched it when I was about 5 years old.
And when you look out the kitchen window, does it go up like a little path, goes over a hill?
Yeah, it does.
With a couple of trees at the
So
top.
there we go. That's my first one. Wim.
All right, my first one is Starship Troopers.
Ooh.
I don't think I need to say anything more.
Nice choice, yeah. Right, my second choice is 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is the sequel,
Yeah.
well, kind of a sequel. It's an indirect sequel to Cloverfield. And that's a little tense invasion.
Biggie Boy Goodman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my second choice is the horror comedy Critters.
Windy Bum!
We are doing well this month. Excellent. Oh,
Are you going to get grumpy with me?
No.
It's got to be Starship Troopers and Critters.
You are joking.
Oh no!
No, that's all right.
You really want?
No, that's all right. No, I love those two movies, so that's going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Let's go for those two. All right.
Oh
No. I think we decided. All right.
damn it!
Okay, we're going to wrap it up. I'm very excited about next month.
It's going to be a good one.
Starship Troopers and Critters. You. Right. I've been James.
I've been Laurie.
Oh, I've been Wyndham.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right, so this is our little bonus feature. We're going to talk about Solo, but we're going to do a spoiler review of it. I've been seeing it, and Laurie, you've seen it, haven't you?
Yes,
All
desperately.
right.
Yeah.
So, first thoughts, what do you think?
Okay, so it opens up and you have in a galaxy far, far away. ... And I wasn't expecting that. I thought these little standalone sort of episodes would just sort of bang into it like it did with Rogue One. So that interested me. But then you got this opening scene where...
Did you like it?
Did I like it? Well, first of all, I loved it. Yeah, I really, really did love it.
You see,
great.
I enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
thought it was all right. I've really got Star Wars fatigue.
Absolutely, I understand that.
Have you got Star Wars fatigue?
No. Not at all. to any degree. But you're absolutely right. I mean, this famously hasn't done well at the box office. A lot of people having this fatigue stuff. It probably came out way too quick. It was only
Yeah, why
6
didn't they
months
just put it
after.
out at Christmas or something?
Because, I suppose from my perspective, and probably Disney's perspective, there's probably no need. If they've got it in the can, we can do it. But also, The Last Jedi, so many people are angry with that, and I can really, really see why. There's some choices in there that are probably not very well done, this, that, and the other. And this could have been brought out to just cover it up a bit, just take the edge off a bit. But yeah, there we are. It was the most expensive Star Wars film ever made, simply because it was actually tailored to be one of the cheapest, but because they got pretty much the whole way through it, and they chopped the 2 directors and moved it to Ron Howard, they've effectively paid for the film twice, because he had to completely remake the film.
Do you think that was a mistake? Because I think after watching it, and I did enjoy it, I think after watching it, I think I would have preferred to have seen what they'd have made of the film themselves without Ron Howard.
Really?
Ron Howard's a good director, but he's a very safe director. And I wonder if it had been a little bit more out there, it'd have felt a little bit more fresh and original. Because it felt like a really good... It was a good story, good characters.
Yeah.
It went through it, but there wasn't very much else to it.
I think, so the reason why the other 2 guys got pulled out is because what they were doing, apparently, on set, they were turning it into a full-on comedy, like a full-on slapstick, loads of improvisation that was being encouraged.
Yeah, there was a bit in it where Emilia Clarke, is it Emilia Clarke?
Yeah, well, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you can see they're doing a bit of improv almost. And
right.
They I can't remember what the joke was, but there's something and they go, oh yeah. And that was just an improv, and I think that would have really annoyed me if there had been a lot of that. I didn't like her at all.
There was tons of it. You can hear a lot of improv in the L3, the robot.
Really didn't like the robot.
Yeah, that didn't work for a lot of people, actually.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. I liked her. Even when she's bending down, it's like, don't look at me, don't look at me. A lot of people, that wouldn't work for them, but I really liked it. Full-on feminist robot that's very funny and is in love with Lando.
So let's talk about the characters. Let's go with Lando since you landed on him. What do you think?
Absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I like Lando.
So Mr. Glover nails it, and there's loads of sort of backstory and comics and books that have been written about what Lando got up to. I think the Lando Chronicles or something it's called. But he's really got that in this film. So if you're a geek, if you're a fan, he delivers on so many different levels. He's talking about stories and things that he's done, and just all his nuances really linked to Billy D. Williams, who played the original, but he's playing it probably in a little bit more of a cheeky, campy, maybe a little bit more highlighted, that he's a bit, in love with himself, all his capes, and he's just awesome.
I'm jumping around a bit, but I don't know if it was where I saw it, but the first 10 minutes...
Yeah.
I could hardly see a thing on the screen.
It is very dark. It is very dark, all that bit. And there's a lot of tunnel running, isn't there? This and the other.
But even with the creature from the water...
Really dark, yeah.
You can hardly make her out.
Yeah, it's great. I loved it. Some people didn't like that either.
I think I could have managed... Awesome. I could have coped with that if it had been more of a silhouette.
Yeah.
So you couldn't see, but I just thought that there was something wrong with the screen.
There could have been. Maybe if it was extra dark. I could see it. I could see what was going on. But I loved that bit when she turned up. It's like proper...
Well, I liked that bit, but I think I didn't have a problem with the story. I loved the way they introduced Chewie.
Yeah.
That's great. I love Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
I thought the guy who played Han Solo was very good.
He is good.
Yeah.
He's really good. And they all go, we have to have acting lessons.
So come on, tell me then.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to talk about this for too long.
Okay.
But tell me, what was the problem with it then?
What do you mean? What's the problem with
it? Try and see it not through your blinded faith, and see what was wrong with it, because there was something wrong with it.
I think just like the marketing of it was just sort of it
No, in terms of the film, you think that was a perfect film?
Oh right, okay. You want me to sort of pull some stuff out?
Well, there's no point me saying you just saying it's brilliant, because it wasn't brilliant.
As a Star Wars boy, I loved it because it's got so much stuff in it that's connected.
That's not what I asked you, though, was it?
Oh, for goodness sakes! What could I say that maybe could be changed about it? Oh, I don't know. I really don't know.
I thought Emilia Clarke wasn't very good.
Well, yeah, you said. I think she puts in a good turn. I think she's all right.
You see, I don't think we can have a discussion about it because I think you just like anything as long as it has Star Wars on it. Did you like the Star Wars Christmas special?
No.
Right. Okay. So we're getting
There,
holiday
we're there
special.
somewhere.
So we've got a standard.
Yeah. Do you like the bits when the droids all have a droid revolt, where L3 sets off like a droid revolution?
Yes. Again,
did you like the Kessel Run, the way they realised that?
I think by the point it got to the Castle Run, I was a little bit bored.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that was just moving so quickly, I couldn't really keep up with it, really.
Right.
You know.
Paul Bettany, did he surprise you with his malevolence? He's great. Did he put you on edge?
I think I'm the only one that, because I've heard a few podcasts talking about this, and I didn't really like the Paul Bettany bits.
I love the Paul Bettany.
And I really thought it was stupid when Darth Maul turned up at the end.
That's not stupid, see, because I've gone deep. I know what that character's up to, and he would be around that time, and she's linked to Crimson Dawn, and that's what Darth Maul is up to at that time.
This is where you let yourself down, I think.
Oh, for God's sake! You're such a shit. But if there was one thing, actually at the time I thought, oh, that's okay. But the Solo, how he got his name Solo, okay, fair enough. That's a bit pants, all right? The dice, they probably overdid the dice. They didn't need to do so much of the dice.
Well, it's become a big thing now, hasn't it? I didn't even know he had those dice. Were they in the first one?
They just hang for the Millennium Falcon. There's no big deal, but they make it such a massive deal. And it's in the Last Jedi. Basically, Luke takes that back to Leia, and it means to really.
Well, he doesn't. He
doesn't. You're right.
How does he do that? You see, that's another problem with that other film. Yeah. So I'm going to.
But no, they vanish.
He can imagine objects. Yeah, I know.
They vanish.
So what? He can imagine anything.
I suppose.
Is he like David Copperfield?
And then some.
Oh Jesus! All right. I didn't dislike the film.
Good.
But I think I've had enough.
But yeah, you probably have, and that's fine. You relax. You go and do other stuff, and I'll just keep my eye on this gig.
Do you think it's going to continue?
I think we probably will.
They're booked for 3 films.
I think we will have.
But I don't think the next film will be a Han Solo film. It'll probably be the Boba Fett film, and they'll be in it.
Yeah. See, again, this is the thing. I mean, a lot of people are saying, let's see new stuff. Everything seems to be about the past. You're always going back, and even to a degree, the whole Force Awakens, Last Jedi, it's all about the past. Whereas now, I come and break free. Let's get some really new stuff in this world.
But in fairness, the trilogy that's going on at the moment is part of the 9-part trilogy, so it has to link to the past.
Yeah.
Well, they've already got in production the next set of 3 films, which there's rumour it's going to be the Knights of the Old Republic. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
How does that make you feel?
Not particularly. Whatevs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I
don't know if I want to. I know. There's loads of really cool stuff in there, so they could probably talk about, and I probably will enjoy it. But no, that's not really what I'd want to.
Remember that, by the Wyndham's still here. By the way, it's been very quiet.
Remember
when that film comes out, and even when it is about the Knights of the Old Republic, and he's going on about how fucking amazing it is, we will remind him of this point.
Solo is really, really good. It surprised me a lot. My expectations were low, like I famously said.
Were they so low?
Yeah. But I really, really enjoyed it. There's loads of love and attention and little bits and nuggets they drop.
I think that there was attention to detail and lots of references and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they did introduce Chewie very well, I thought.
Yeah.
Except he is a flesh-eating monster, isn't he?
Well, yeah, that's it. He's been eating loads and loads of people. Yeah. It gives him that sort of edge. But I don't know what he's been eating since. When he meets up with Solo, I mean, what are you eating now?
Yeah.
But we don't see Chewie much after that, do we? But their relationship is really great. Chewie's really, really great in it. But all the characters, I think, they're all all good, strong performances. But I suppose with the exception, maybe, of Emilia Clarke.
Yeah. I just wasn't convinced by her. She, except for Game of Thrones, everything else I've seen her in. She was in the Terminator film, I think.
Yes.
And she just comes across as a bit smug, and it's almost like, okay, I'm in Game of Thrones, and I'm just smug. I really like Kristen Harris in Game of Thrones. I think she's perfect.
Yeah, she's good.
But I didn't like her in this.
Just a little bit less so, I suppose, really. But we might be seeing more of her because you find out, she had to do this horrible stuff with
You
Crimson
definitely
Dawn.
will see more of her.
She flies off, has to do this thing. But this film is the only Star Wars film we actually haven't had any consequence to the larger narrative. Because, Rogue One was its own little film, but that was massively connected to, the circumstances of the bigger plot.
Yeah.
Whereas this one genuinely could just have fun and go off and look at stuff that we were aware of. The Kessel Run. Okay, what did that look like?
Yeah.
What was the card game with him and Lando Calrissian? How did he really win them? And then
So,
Vulcan.
just remind me.
Yeah.
They did the Castle Run in how many parsecs?
12, but he rounded down, which is great.
And 12, and parsecs is a unit of
Distance, I think.
not time.
No.
Okay.
So he basically did it
He
because
cut
he went
corners.
through that hole. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I love the idea of L3 that she's got, an
No, I don't like L3 at all.
the charts, the astronomical
Fella
charts
quirky droids.
goes into the Millennium Falcon. C-3PO spoken to the Millennium
And
Falcon.
Lando's
He
having a
finds it
sexual
quite
relationship with that droid, isn't he?
Well, no, they've got some sort of chemistry that's bubbling.
There's a massive war going on, and this droid dies, and Lando's there going, no! Stupid.
It's great.
Right. How many? If you had to mark it out of 10, what would you give it?
I'm giving it 8.5.
All right. I'd give it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. It was fine. Watch it again.
Good. But after a long relax before you just get really sick of it all.
All right. I think that'll do, won't it?
Yeah.
Bite size. We can talk more about it. I'm sure you can bring
Solo's
it back.
great. I love the fact that it hasn't really done very well. That makes me happy.
I'm sure when we do Ghosts or Stanley Kubrick, you can bring it back to Star Wars somehow.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. All right then. Catch you later.
Cheers.